Hey, fellow adventurers, Alex here. Today's episode, buckle up, 'cause what you think you know about the Bahamas is just a postcard. I'm not talking about the cruise ship version of the Bahamas, not the pastel souvenir stands or the infinity pools. I'm talking about the real, raw, wildly strange, and utterly beautiful soul of these islands, and I've gathered 15 facts that will flip your image of this place upside down. But first, imagine this. I'm standing barefoot on a beach of sand so fine it squeaks. To my left, a wild pig swims through crystal clear water. To my right, a man in dreadlocks is blowing a conch shell like a war horn while cooking cracked lobster on a driftwood fire. The air smells like rum and sea and something ancient. Welcome to the Bahamas you've never seen. Let's begin. Yes, it's real. Yes, I went. Yes, the pig swam up to me like fluffy pink submarines, looking for snacks. Big Major K, also known as pig beaches, uninhabited by humans, but home to a colony of feral pigs that somehow, mysteriously, became sea lovers. Locals have different theories. Some say they were left by sailors as a food source. Others claim there was a shipwreck and the pigs swam to shore. Either way, they've become legends. They paddle up to boats with snouts in the air, and tourists feed them fruits, which, side note, you shouldn't actually do. It messes up their health. I brought water and coconut slices. One pig bit my GoPro. I regret nothing. In 2019, after Hurricane Dorian tore through the Abaco Islands, something eerie surfaced. Rows of ancient graves, partially hidden in the mangroves. Locals had always heard rumors that pirates used these areas for secret burials, but no one had ever seen them. Archaeologists believe some are from the golden age of piracy, when Nassau was basically the Tortuga of the Western Hemisphere. Some graves had coral stones, others were marked with conch shells. One even had the symbol of a skull and crossbones, carved into driftwood. Chills. Literal chills. Australia gets all the glory. But the Andros Barrier Reef in the Bahamas is a titan of its own, spanning over 190 miles, stretching along the coast of Andros Island and plunging into one of the deepest underwater trenches on Earth, the tongue of the ocean. I dove near the drop-off, and the shift was terrifyingly majestic. From rainbow coral gardens into abyssal blue-black nothingness. The reef is teeming with parrotfish, eagle rays, reef sharks, and, yes, sea turtles that move like they're high on zen. If you're a diver, this is your pilgrimage. Let's talk conch, pronounced conch. These massive spiral-shelled sea creatures are a staple here, and they're eaten raw, grilled, stewed, and cracked. My first taste was a Nassau conch salad made with lime, peppers, onion, and the freshest raw conch you've ever seen, scooped straight from the shell in front of me. Texture, like calamari and ceviche had a baby. Taste, oceanic citrus explosion. Experience, 10 tenths, especially when paired with a calic beer under a palm tree. But here's the catch. Conch populations are declining, and locals are working hard to protect them through sustainable harvesting. It's called Junkanoo, and if you've never heard of it, you've been missing out. Every Boxing Day and New Year's Day, Nassau explodes into a sea of color. Feathers, cowbells, whistles, horns, and raw, pulsing drum beats that you feel in your bones. It's like Rio Carnival meets tribal magic. Entire neighborhoods compete to create the most spectacular costumes, some weighing over 50 pounds. With moving parts and LED lights, Junkanoo is more than a party. It's a spiritual comeback from slavery, a cultural roar, and a community heartbeat all at once. I danced in the street until 4 a.m. with a woman dressed as a flamingo goddess, still recovering. Mini break. Why this isn't just a list. This isn't just a list of quirky travel trivia. This is about how a place breathes, resists, and remembers. The Bahamas aren't just beaches. They're full of ghost stories, unsolved mysteries, wild traditions, and some of the most vibrant, unfiltered people I've ever met. And we're only just getting started. Today, we're going underwater, underground, and into places that made my skin crawl, my heart race, and my jaw drop. Let's go. Dean's Blue Hole is the deepest in the world, and it feels alive. I stood at the edge of what looked like a tranquil lagoon on longisland.com. Silent, inviting. Then someone whispered, "It's deeper than the Empire State Building." And that's when I realized, this is Dean's Blue Hole. It's the deepest saltwater blue hole on Earth, 663 feet, 202 meters straight, down into the abyss. Jumping into it was like free-falling into space. The water changed color from sapphire to black in seconds. It's where world record freedivers train, and some believe it's haunted. Locals say the water pulls you, that it calls to you. I didn't believe it until I floated on my back and felt a kind of pressure, like the ocean was watching me. There's an island full of dolls, and locals refuse to visit after dark there. An uninhabited island near Exuma called Samson Cay, known by fishermen as Dead Whisper. Why? Because the island is covered in hundreds of decaying dolls, nailed to trees, hanging from branches, stuffed into driftwood holes. I kid you not, heads missing, eyes scratched out. Most are coated in salt and mildew. Legend says a hurricane in the 80s crashed a cargo ship carrying toys, and the dolls washed ashore like a ghost ship's crew. Others say a reclusive man placed them there to protect his daughter's spirit. I went with a local captain named Theo. He dropped me off and said, "I'll be back in 40 minutes. No more. That was the longest 40 minutes of my life. I swear one doll turned its head. Elton John left an underwater piano in the Bahamas, and you can still visit it. This one is straight up surreal. There's a sculpture off the coast of Musha. Kay called the musician a full-size grand piano submerged under crystal clear water. Sitting on the bench is a statue of a young boy facing out to sea, frozen mid-play. The artist, Jason D. Cares Taylor. The patron, Elton John himself. The reason? A blend of environmental activism, art, and a very wealthy whim. I dove to it and hovered silently above, watching sunlight filter through the waves and bounce off the white keys. It felt like a post-apocalyptic concert in Atlantis. The coral is starting to grow around the legs. Fish dart through the strings. It's hauntingly beautiful. The Bahamas has a real zombie legend. It's not just folklore. They call it Obeah, spiritual system similar to voodoo, rooted in West African traditions, brought by enslaved people centuries ago. And yes, it includes spells, talismans, and the fear of the living dead in one village on Cat Island. I was told about a man who died in 1997, but was seen walking the road days later. People still lower their voices when saying his name. Obeah man, bring him back, they say. I met a woman who sells protective herb tea, makes a paste that smells like garlic, rum, and salt. Keep it by the door, she said. They can't cross salt. Is it real? Is it fear? Doesn't matter. The belief is powerful, and it shapes how people live, love, and protect their homes here. There's a national park where no one walks because it's home to the Chickcharniup in the forests of Andros Island. There's a legend about a creature called the Chickcharni, half owl, half monkey, red eyes, claws like knives, and a personality that switches from trickster to punisher in seconds. Locals avoid walking alone in the Pine Barrens. They leave offerings, berries, rum, shiny object to appease the spirit. Some believe the Chickcharni lives in hollow trees and twists your fate if you disrespect nature. I did a solo hike through that forest. Heard something snap behind me twice. Coincidence? Maybe. But I walked faster. Pause. What makes the Bahamas so unique? It's not just the geography. It's the fact that these islands hold memories like sponges soaked in colonial trauma. Pirate gold, African resistance, British legacy, and raw, natural force. Each island is its own planet. Each person holds a different truth. Each myth comes with a warning. Iguana islands, poisonous fruit, and a beach that glows hay. It's Alex Agnond. Welcome to part 3 of our Bahamian deep dive. In this chapter, we're sailing to places most tourists never even hear about. No souvenir shops, no Wi-Fi. Just raw islands, ancient animals, and nature so weird. You'd think you're in a sci-fi movie. Let's go. There's an island where prehistoric iguanas rule land. They want your grapes asterisk. Imagine stepping off a boat onto a beach and being ambushed by 100+ giant pink-scaled iguanas. Welcome to Allen's Cay, home of the endangered northern Bahamian rock iguana species that dates back over 400 million years. They're huge, surprisingly fast, and strangely obsessed with grapes. They'll charge at your bag if they hear plastic crinkle. They've learned that boats equals snacks. It's Jurassic Park meets beach picnic. But here's the wild part. These iguanas are not found anywhere else on Earth, and they're sacred to locals. Some believe their ancestors used to whisper secrets to them during storms. The most dangerous fruit on Earth grows here. It looks delicious. Ever seen a fruit that looks like a tiny green apple? It's called the manchineel, and it's nicknamed the death apple. It grows on beaches in the Bahamas, and every part of it is poisonous. The sap burns your skin. The smoke from burning it can blind you, and one bite of the fruit can kill. There are warning signs on some trees, but others grow wild, unnoticed. Tourists sometimes pick one without realizing and end up in the ER. Locals say, if it's shining in the sun, leave it alone. I saw one glowing on a beach in Eleuthera. Beautiful, terrifying, untouched. There's a beach that glows blue at night. It's not Photoshop on a moonless night near Andros. I walked barefoot into shallow water, and the moment I moved, it was like stepping into a galaxy. The water exploded in blue sparkles. This is caused by bioluminescent plankton, microscopic organisms that light up when disturbed. You move, they flash. Swim, and your arms become glowing comets. There are only a handful of places on Earth where this happens naturally. The Bahamas is one of them, and it's completely unadvertised. Locals don't hype it. They just smile when you discover it. Pause. There's magic here, but it doesn't shout. That's the secret of the Bahamas. The magic isn't loud. It's in the creatures, the trees, the silence of the water. Mermaids, shell churches, and the ocean's lungs. Hey, again, Alex here. We're in the home stretch now. By now, you've probably realized the Bahamas are way more than beaches and resorts. They're a living, breathing mystery. This part, it's all about spirit, how people, myths, and the sea itself all connect in ways that gave me goosebumps. Let's get into it. Mermaid holes are real, land. No one can explain them. Mon South Andros. There are these deep circular pools called mermaid holes, blue and bottomless, surrounded by mangroves and silence. Local legend says mermaids live in them, and if you swim alone, they may pull you down and keep you. Scientists have no full explanation. They're connected to the sea through hidden tunnels and have strange temperature and salinity patterns that don't match the tides. I swam in one. It was cold, then warm, then something brushed my leg. I don't want to talk about it. There's a church made entirely from conch shells on the island of New Providence, hidden behind a schoolyard and a grove of palms. Stand St. Augustine's shell, churcha tiny, whitewashed chapel built entirely from conch shells and coral. Rock. It was built by freed slaves in the 1800s who used only what they had from the sea. The walls shimmer pink and white in the sunlight. Inside, it smells like salt and prayer. When I entered, a woman was singing a hymn in Creole, just her voice. No microphone. The conch shells amplified her like a cathedral. I'd never felt something so sacred, built from leftovers. Bonus fact: the ocean breathes in one secret place near the edge of the tongue of the ocean. I snorkeled through a coral pass and saw something I still don't fully understand. There's a vertical cracker, massive fissure in the seafloor. Every few seconds, it inhales and exhales. Kid you not, you can hear it. A sound like thunder underwater. Locals call it the ocean's lung. Geologists say it's a pressure phenomenon. Divers say it's haunted. I say it's one of the most powerful things I've ever felt. In the final part, I'll tell you what this journey taught me, the moment that made me cry, and why the Bahamas are not just a place, but a lesson. The soul of the Bahamas, and the moment that broke me. Hey friends, it's Alex. One last time from these enchanted islands. Over the past few days, I've danced with flamingo goddesses, swum with ancient iguanas, stood barefoot in ghostly churches, and watched the sea literally breathe. But this last story, this one changed me. The elder with the broken drum. On my final evening, I met a man named Ebo on the beach near Tarpon Bay. He was in his 70s, barefoot, sitting on a driftwood log with a cracked goatskin drum. He played soft rhythms as the sun set. I asked what song it was. He said, "It's not a song. It's the sound of missing people." His children had moved to Florida. His friends had died or left. But he said the sea keeps them close. When I play this, he told me, they come back. I sat there with him for almost 2 hours. Just the sound of the drum. Just the rhythm of remembering. What the Bahamas really are, Rethier, not a vacation. They're a memory made visible. A place where spirits live in water, where danger is beauty, and where people carve joy out of survival. These islands taught me something big. You don't have to shout to be unforgettable. You just have to be real. Thank you for traveling with me. You've made it this far. Thank you. Seriously, this journey was wild, and I'm so glad I got to bring you with me. If you want more untamed, unfiltered, and sometimes unexplainable places, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and share this with someone who needs to feel the salt and wind again. Stay curious, stay wild, and don't eat the death apple.